Welcome everybody to another video, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how to prepare for the Christmas inflation coming up. And actually some of the inflation I think is happening right now, but I want to go over some things with that, and I also want to go over my avatar because I updated it a little bit, and I also want to go over some trades that I've done because I've done quite a few big trades. But let's go ahead and get right into the video. So I'm going to go ahead and start with my avatar here. Now my avatar is updated a little bit. I now have Ghost Walker instead of Illumina. I'll get into that trade later. And then I also have a new, I changed the clothes to be the exact mesh ID as my waffle hat, so it looks a little bit better now. And I also have my rim glasses to also match the fit, so I think overall it looks really cool, and also you can see the whole face now. And yeah, let me know what you guys think of this. I really like the change, but I want to know what you guys think as well. So now let's go ahead and we'll get into the Christmas inflation. Now the first place I want to go is to the value changes. Now, recently everything has been raising except Playful. I'll get into that in a second, but I also want to go over how right now is like the best time to get Playful. But yeah, everything has been raising, as you can see. Things like semis and rares, they're all dying right now, as you can see there. Yeah, everything is raising. That is demand, and it's really nice. We're having some inflation right now. Yeah, right there, drop. All these are raising. Really good examples of things raising are going to be Silver King of the Night is one. Look at this thing. I mean, let's see, it's risen. What is that? Oh, jeez. About 40k. Risen about 40k in like 2 weeks. Like that's crazy. Look at this. It goes from 70k to 10 or 110. Like that's just crazy. And if we go to super happy face, that is about the same. Go down, yep, right here. This thing's risen about the same. It's dropped a little bit and gone back up, but yeah, basically about a week ago or 2 weeks ago, everything started raising, which is interesting because that is the first of this month. So I guess like right after the Halloween season, headless season, everything started shooting back up again, which is nice because deflation is no fun. When you're trading in deflation, everything's dropping and demand's dropping. It's not very fun. So another good example is going to be Playful Vampire. Now I will say, Playful. There we go. Now I will say Playful has dropped recently because it got mass LPP'd. I'll get into that later. It absolutely sucks for me, and I'll show you why. But yeah, everything. Yeah, this went from. Yes, this even got down to 38k, and basically it dropped down to 38k, and then it started rising all the way up to 60k. Now, will Playful go back to 60k? 100%. It will go back to this and it will exceed that. And right now, Playful's probably the best item you could go for, just because it's at a low right now, because it got mass LPP. It may even drop to 48k. Like, there's a chance it could. But you want to get it low, like right now. If you get Playful when it's 50k, get it when it's 55k, maybe in 48k. You never know. But yeah, get Playful now, then you want to hold on to it, and then it'll go to 60 again easily. It was just very unfortunate what happened to it, and it kind of sucks because I ended up getting a Playful Horde, and yeah, it hasn't been good so far, but it will be good, so you just gotta stay strong if you have a Playful Horde right now. But yeah, everything's been raising. Let me go to Playful actually one more time. So there's a few things. So last year, during the inflation, here's like the time period, and it just everything went up, and then it peaked around February and March. So it peaked, I'd say like mainly the end, yeah, mainly February, and everything kind of peaked then, and then it started dropping again. So we had an inflation after Halloween, then everything peaked, and then we had a deflation after that. So there's actually one more thing I want to do. I'll get into that later. Also, it's kind of like my prediction for how everything's gonna happen this Christmas and all that. But yeah, as you can see, we're having that exact same raise here as we did last year. Now I will say there isn't as much hype around trading this year, but I will say there is going to be an inflation anyway. Just maybe not as big of one. Now this is what happened last year. So let's say, yeah, this is today's date a year ago. It was at 40k, and right now it was at 60k. It's at 50k right now. So this thing went from 40 to 100k. Now, I don't think it's going to go as high, but it is also starting at a higher value. So I feel like it could definitely go to 100k again, just because it has more value to start, when it starts to raise, because it was just 60. But I guess we'll have to see, but I do think it will inflate to like at least 80, like safely 80, 100% 70k value. But yeah, right now you want to get a bunch of demand. You want to just get your whole inventory of demand. If you go over to my profile, you will notice that, there we go, demand. You got your Valkyrie helm, some King of the Night, form, playful. Yeah, you just want to get a bunch of demand items, fill your inventory with demand items. And the best thing to do after a deflation is get the demand items when they're at their low. Like for instance, since Silver King of the Night just 2 weeks ago was 70k, that was its low. So if you had gotten Silver King of the Night at 70 and you had held just one of them, you would have gained 40k just like that in 2 weeks. So it's pretty crazy. And if you imagine you get like five, and five times what would it be? Yeah, 5 times 40, that's 200k just like that. So pretty crazy. So that is for the most part what I want to talk about for demand. The main points are get a bunch of demand and get, good items like your Playful Vampire, Super Happy Faces, Valkyrie Helm. I do feel like Super Happy Face kind of went up pretty high, so I don't know how much more it's going to go. That thing shot up pretty fast, and last year it only went up to like 140, I believe, but it's hard to say, I guess. Valkyrie Helm is a very good one to get if you can hold the Valkyrie Helm, because this thing went down 100k, and actually it went down 150k, and now it's like 90k under what it was, so it definitely will go up again, and it's actually getting pretty nice overpays right now. It's getting like 20k plus, so it's a good item to get and hold on to right now. So I want to talk a little bit about my inventory, and then I also want to get into a sketch pad here because I want to show my predictions for the inflation and deflations and all that. So recently I've gone up a lot, one because of inflation, and two, I've made some pretty big trades. Excuse me. I had Illumina, and that thing gets some pretty nice overpays. It gets like 150. That's what like all the owners want. And I ended up trading it for an 87k overpay with a Ghostwalker and classic Fedora. Now the reason I did this is because I wanted more demand, and a classic Fedora would get me 200k more demand to work with, which is a lot if you think about it. And then I also have Ghostwalker, which can give me 50k plus. So it was a good trade. I mean, and also it's gonna help Illumina succeed more. So I'm glad I was able to help out the owners with the way I got Illumina. And yeah, so I do have a dip here toward the end, but that's because Playful got mass LPP'd, so this will go back up. I'm not even worried. I'll be up here pretty soon. But yeah, let's talk about Playful real quick. So Playful, oh my gosh, this thing got mass LPP'd like crazy. Okay, let's go back about 3 days. That's where it all started. Um, Now, Playful is always an item that's targeted to get LPP'd, but if we look, it gets sold under a little bit. So yeah, it kind of starts like, or where is it? I swear it was like, maybe it wasn't. But yeah, it kind of starts to sell, sold under here for like 30k. That was just weird. But then right here, it got this is 2 days ago. Okay, so then it gets sold under once. Okay, then it gets LPP'd again. There's 2 times. Or did I go past one? Yeah, I did. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7. Look at this. Like, this is actually, I think I missed this one. 8. Like, look at this. Actually, I missed. How many are there? I can't even, like, 1, 2, 3. That's kind of 4-ish. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Like, what is this? Like, kind of like 10 times this thing got LPP'd. I'd say, 9 for sure, because I don't know about the 30k. But at least 9 times this thing has gotten LPP'd in the past 2-3 days. Like, that's just absurd. Like, this thing went from, what was it? Oh, look at this. It was at 38k. It was actually about a raise. Look how close it was to raising. it was actually about to raise. It was like a sale or two away, and then it went all the way down to 33K. What? Like, and I have had Playful this whole time, so it's really sucked for me. I've lost so much from it. So I'm just kind of waiting for Playful to bounce back, and yeah, it's pretty painful. But right now is the best time to get Playful, and that's kind of why, is because it will go back. So get Playful while you can. So I want to go to a sketch pad to kind of predict the deflation and inflation this year on how it's all going to work. So I want to create a fine line of like the average of all the demand items and how much they normally are. So this line right here is going to represent the average value. That's a weird V, but the average value, all right? Let's actually undo that. Average value, all right? This line is the average value. Now, this is like Halloween time, and we've already gone past this, but yeah, Halloween time, and everything kind of goes down, right? So this is Halloween, or headless deflation. So headless deflation, Halloween deflation. So yeah, that's our deflation. You know, it goes down like that. And right now, this is kind of where we are. This is like the bounce back for every item and kind of give back to that, you know, average value that everything is. Like super happy face has already recovered back to the average value that it was, because before the deflation it was at like 100k, 110k, and that's where it is right now. Silver King of the Night did that too, and Playful, it's on its way. If it didn't, well, it would have been there if it didn't get mass LPP'd like crazy, because that was just weird. So this is like the recovery of all the items, so we'll just name it like recovery. And then this is kind of how I'm predicting it. So we're going through this right now, right? So I'd say we're like here. I'd say like we're here or something, because we are getting close to Christmas time. And yeah, I think we're going to go, and now we're going to have an inflation. So we're going to go past the average value with all the items. This is going to be the Christmas inflation. My letters are so weird. So Christmas inflation, that's a weird C, but ignore that. So yeah, then we're going to have an inflation. And then just like last year, I also am going to predict that we're going to have a deflation right after. And then it's going to kind of go back to that average value. So the best time to profit and succeed through these times, during the headless deflation, you want to get items that aren't going to drop. You want to get rares and stuff, and just avoid the deflation. And then once you hit here, then you want to load up on demand. You want to get all the demand items you can, and then you want to hold them and, you know, have a bunch of demand through this whole time, because if you have demand through this whole entire time, you will gain so much. So we're like here, so you've missed out on some of it if you haven't already. So get your demand now, so then you can, you know, keep going to the Christmas inflation and gain a lot. Now once you get to this point, then what you want to do is you want to trade for those big items that aren't going to drop back down, they're not like peaked items, because eventually, you know, the high demand items are going to peak, and then they're going to go back down to the average value. So you want to trade off those items for like those bigger items that aren't going to go back down from the deflation, like your, you know, big Dominuses, you know, big Sparkle Time fedoras, things like that. Just anything that, you know, you'll be safe keeping. And then this is going to be like back down, and then it's going to basically, I don't know what to call it, but it's like kind of like a recovery almost in a way, but like the opposite. So we'll just name it R, I guess. But yeah, then it's going to go to the average value again, and then from here it could go, you know, however the market just goes, I feel like, at that point. But this is like the most significant times for Roblox trading, is headless deflation and Christmas inflation. So this is kind of my prediction here. So hopefully this does help with your planning and understanding of what is probably going to happen, because this kind of happened last year. So I'm just predicting the exact same thing to happen. Just I wanted to go into detail on that. So yeah, let me know if this video was helpful. This is probably going to be the end of the video, and also let me know what other ideas you have for videos, or if you have anything that you want me to make a video on. But yeah, that's about it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.